Very nice meeting you, Beth. And then we met each other last night at the reception,
Yes.
right? How do you feel about the conference right now? Like your experience, please share with us a little bit.
It's an immersion in everything that I've been learning for the last 5 years. I'm meeting the professors of the books that I'm reading and hearing them speak, and it's amazing to see them come to life. And then we read words in the textbooks that are prepared for us, but this is coming from their heart and they're bouncing off each other. So we're seeing the concepts being created in front of us and then being explained so that we can understand what they are. So I'm loving every minute of it.
Of course, we're so glad that you're here because you're part of us, right? You have your master's degree with us and now you're in your PhD program. And then we definitely want to know a little bit more about your journey with Sophia. Can you share us a little bit more about, at the first beginning, how did you find about Sophia? And then why did you want to start your master's degree with Sophia?
I had just completed my bachelor's degree online with Southern New Hampshire University in creative writing. And I was at a crossroads. I wasn't sure what I was going to do next. And one of my good friends, Kim Strubel, who was a student with me at Maharishi University, had already come to Sofia. And so he discussed with me about what Sofia was and what it meant, and offered the opportunity for me to find out more. So I applied, but I was still in my bachelor's degree. So I had to wait until I graduated in December before I could actually apply, and I just made it for January.
Wow.
So,
and then when was that?
2018 was when I graduated, so I began in January of 2019.
Like right after?
Yes.
How was your journey in your master's degree at Sofia?
Transformative is the only word that I can give to it. And the kickstart was actually in March. I attended the seminar in Palo Alto when you had it at the Jesuit retreat. And I think the first day, Robert Wood gave us an assignment. You have 20 minutes to draw the picture of your spiritual journey. So I took a piece of paper and I went clockwise with all these little stick figures of all of the experiences that I had been through. And some of them were transitions in life that were not easy. And then some of them were kind of the recovery from that, and coming to Sofia was full circle. So I looked at it and I put all the words in between this circle, and they were a combination of happiness, sadness, loss, healing, every positive word and negative. And I realized life is made up of both. It's not that only the good things are important, that even the difficult things are important. And then we had to take that assignment and write in our journal. So I sat on a bench, and what came out was new to me. It was going back to, and I had studied Carolyn Mace, but I never put it together that before I came, my parents and I, and my husbands and my children and I, made these contact tracks that we would not always be there for each other. And then the separation caused pain and suffering, but the healing from that is what brought the transformation. And that's basically what the whole journaling was about. But it was full of really inspired, intuitive statements that weren't so much about my showing what my life was like. It was showing me what my life was like and helping me come to an understanding. And we had the labyrinth that was there, and the whole weekend was just magical from one moment to the next. And it changed my experience with my classes and actually meeting the people that are the teachers and meeting the other students, talking to people who were in the master's and the PhD. And there was one girl who was in the master's, and she and I were eating lunch. And I told her I needed to go away. I lived in Iowa, and I was going home to Vermont for 6 months. Needed someone to sublet my house, my apartment. And she said, well, I'm looking for a change in my life. And from that conversation, she came to Fairfield, and she's been there for the last 6 years.
Wow.
And been part of my life.
Wow. Thank you so much for spreading the words for Sofia. And we're so lucky to have you and have your referrals. And then we hope that we're able to change their lives as well to be more like transformative. And also thank you so much for referring us students, you and Kim. So share us a little bit more about this area in Iowa, especially, your peers graduated from Maharishi University.
It's a very small town. Maharishi chose it on purpose because he was in Santa Ana first. Too many distractions, too much going on, so he bought this little college in the middle of nowhere. And he came the same time that the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology began. So the spiritual energy was being spread out in different facets. And most of the students now that are coming here are from there. And it's set up with Maharishi's colleges there. They do sustainable living. They do several different kinds. And they have domes, 2 huge domes that are one for the men, one for the women. And they have a school, MSAE, that's actually patterned after some of the Waldorf techniques. But the children go to school there and then they stay. So a lot of the people that we know have been in Fairfield since the 70s and 80s. Kim started very early. So Kim has explained to them, and because they already have the transcendence as part of their experience, Sofia just adds, because Maharishi's is mostly self-referral, but Sofia incorporates and invites us to learn from all the other techniques, all the other religions, all the other approaches. So it just really gives more to what we've already gotten from Maharishi.
And then we're glad that we found you, we found Kim, and then you refer more students to Sofia University. We definitely look forward to that collaboration, a close collaboration with all of you, and then to be able to serve you to ensure that you are successful in our program, and also, in the career or pathway that you want to go for. So I wanted to ask you, after you graduated from our master's degree, what made you to continue your PhD study at Sofia?
They've become a part of my life. And and it was just kind of the natural progression. I graduated on Saturday and began the PhD on Sunday, and it was a lot like this conference. I didn't know that I would be able to come to this conference until Monday. And I didn't know I was going to be able to graduate in 2022 until August. Somebody finally, we just put together, oh wow, you've got all the courses you need. You can graduate. So we scrambled. And I even had to borrow Rosalie Cook's gown because there wasn't time for me. And it was just, I couldn't see my life without Sofia. And We also had established Zoom call study buddies. So I had a study buddy in Dubai and one in Nevada. And we graduated together. And we have the videos of us, and we each did our tips, our transpersonal integration papers on a different topic. And mine was in creativity, one was in intuition, and the other was in dreams. So Kathy had necklaces made for each of us that had those 3 words on them. Mm-hmm. And the bonding, we supported each other through the last 2 years of that. And I was losing both of them because they were not going to go on for the PhD. But I met other people, and that continued. So that I have a Zoom account that's up 24 hours, and we've been inviting anybody to join. It doesn't have to be the class that we're in, but it's usually 3 or 4 people. Mm-hmm. We share our lives. We share the struggles and the successes that happen during our classes. And there are days when each one of us take a turn to say, I've had it, I'm done, I'm out of here. And then the others come in and say, oh, but look at this, and help us to keep going. Mm-hmm. So, and those only last for a few minutes. You know, they're just a natural part of the process. But
it seems like you have very supportive peers, faculty members, schoolmates. I want to say, like, based on my personal experience, people at Sofia are just amazing. So can you elaborate more about like your experience with your instructor, like your teachers? How's your experience with them?
They're all different, and they all bring something unique to whatever we're doing. Not always, we have a lot of learning that has to do with each one, how to bring out who we are and what we have with different teachers. And the ones that have touched me the most are like Robert Wood. He was at the first one at the seminar, and his heart is so open and so beautiful. And I had the archetype class with him, which I'd already been exposed to Joseph Campbell. So I just am inspired by and look up to the kinds of things that he does. And John Elfers is, I want to be like John Elfers when I grow up, because he's right there for every student. I get notifications for the posts, and I will look down and say, like, well, Eric did his post, all right. 3 minutes later, John Elfers is in there. And he's on top of all of it. And it isn't just, you did a good job. He contributes something that's substantial every time, that either acknowledges your skills or gives you some guidance in how to deepen. And he's the head of the class for that. The other teachers all do that in their own way. But I really look forward to every new teacher. Alana Rowe and Robert Farrar in the and Rosalind Grady too. In the master's degree programs, brought out the creativity. The part that I love about the classes is we had to do creative expression, either in poetry or in artwork. And I found out I am an artist, and I didn't know that before these classes, before the requirements to go inside. And that's really been a huge benefit for me, that it is encouraged and supported in a very positive way.
I know that, Elizabeth, you are still in our PhD program. and then you completed your master's program. I wanted to ask you what a difference Sophia has made, in transitioning your life, like by looking back to who you were before you started Sophia, and now today, you are sitting just in front of me. What changes that you've seen in yourself?
Healing and recovery from my previous life before I came to Sofia. A lot of the conflicts that grew from my childhood and my marriages were still active, and they were still influencing the decisions and my relationships. But in Sofia, we're learning so many different ways to connect mind, body, and spirit. So I got to see myself as others were seeing me, and I got to see a vision of a new way that I could be. And that's really what's happened, is the transformation. And it wasn't something that I said, oh, I'm going to go into Sofia because I want this to happen. It's day by day changes. It opened me up to be willing to let people into my life and to explore things. And especially within the last maybe 6 or 8 months, there was a group in our town, a couple moved in who did shaman energy healing, and it released so much of the old energy, which we are learning about. Everything that happens in my life seems to be supported by the class that I'm in right now. And we were learning about that. And for some reason, I went through a period through the winter that was, I was in a depression and didn't know it. I went through the motions, I got everything done. But I was processing old feelings of nobody loves me, nobody wants me. And after this release, the whole world opened up. So now I'm taking art classes, I'm taking yoga classes, I'm participating in open mic and singing and sharing my poetry, and it's a combination of Sofia started the trajectory of that. And so because my mindset has changed, I'm inviting more things into my life. And because of Sofia, I have more courage to do them. I'm taking more opportunities.
It's so touching and inspiring by hearing your stories. And I know that you are currently in the PhD program, and then you're currently like the part-time student, right? And then you are aiming for graduating in 2029.
Yes.
To me, that's a long journey to go. And then I'm wondering, like, what makes you so determined?
Because each class opens my life a little bit more. Every time I'm finished with a quarter, I'm a different person than I was when I started. And my life is changing so much. I just don't want that to stop.
I think my last question is, I'm so happy that you shared your story, and then you share the changes that you see in yourself. And then Sophia is so fortunate to be part of it, to be part of this change or contributing to this change. So if anyone that you know who is looking for something transpersonal, and then based on your personal experience, what do you want to say about Sophia to them?
I can tell you that within the last month, I have been talking to a friend of mine who was my therapist. His name is David Siegel, and he was very influential through EMDR at the same time that I was going through Sofia. He was helping me explain. So I watched David, and I've been talking to him, telling him he needs to be here. He has a new technique he's developing that help people create thoughts that bring happiness into their lives instead of depression and anxiety. And so I have been sharing how much he could help Sofia and how much Sofia could help him. And I sent a letter of recommendation to Elizabeth 2 days ago, and he's been accepted at Sofia, and he is coming in.
Oh, thank you so much.
So I don't think that there are very few weeks that I haven't spoken to somebody in my town, whether it's the people that already have to hear it every day, or if it's somebody new, about how valuable and important Sofia is. The whole package, the people that are at Sofia, the theories that we study, and the changes that it makes in us.
You are very active in promoting Sofia University. I mean, you don't have to feel obligated, but I mean, you're from the bottom of your heart that you wanted to do it.
Yes,
And then what's the reason?
because my friends call me the Queen of Change. Because when I first came to Fairfield, I had real trouble with relationships. And I would think that everybody was just very temperamental. I keep running into these people that are temperamental, and the other people are seeing something in me that I can't see. So we had a lot of conflicts. But as time has gone on, our relationships are improving. They're loving. They're not conflict ridden anymore, and that's basically it. People give me compliments of how different I am than I was, and I have to say, well, why don't you go to Sofia and see if that can do for you too?
So thank you so much for your contribution. Not only to our enrollments, but also like the spirit, of Sofia, that we definitely want to carry on our transpersonal psychology legacy. And then you're part of us, and then you're contributing. And thank you so much for your support, Elizabeth.
Very welcome. Oh, it's good to be here.
And we're so happy to have you.
Thank you.